Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 2 of Trust the Podcast. Your host, Roberto Nader. I am once again joined by the boys. We got Andy, Cody, and Tyler. Gentlemen, week 16 of the NFL is starting right now. How are we feeling? Let's get your thoughts first, Cody.
Fuck, dude, it sure is about to happen. For those of you who don't know, I never shut up about it, so I'm sure you'll hear it more as we go along with this. But I'm a huge Baltimore Ravens fan, and we're 11-3 currently, number one in the AFC, and we play the 49ers on Christmas, who are also 11-3 and number one in the NFC. So, possible game of the year situation coming up here, and just nervous because
This is true.
Miami is one game behind in the one seed race, and the Cleveland Browns, for some godforsaken reason, are only 2 games behind in the AFC North.
They're kind of hanging around.
So, all it takes, the Ravens have a rough schedule to finish out here. We got the 49ers and then the Dolphins, who are on fire, and the Steelers, and God only knows who is going to win each matchup between the Ravens and the Steelers. So,
Don't even sweat it, bro. 49ers are gonna get blown out.
it's gonna be questionable coming down the line here. We'll see how it goes.
The two top teams in the league. It's not likely, but there is a potential that it could just be. It's either going to be a really close game or a huge blowout.
What if a tie happens? I'd love a tie.
That would be pretty hilarious. I would support that.
Honestly, I wouldn't be that mad about a tie.
Just screw over the 49ers and actually just beat the 49ers.
Let's talk about this for a second too. This is a potential Super Bowl preview here. Because not to toot my own horn here, but the Ravens are the best team in the AFC right now. And,
oh my god.
Oh, definitely, yes.
It's possible that they're going to go to their third Super Bowl. And the last Super Bowl the Ravens won, funnily enough, was also against San Francisco.
That's true.
In 2012.
I didn't even think about that.
That was the Harbaugh Bowl, Jim and John.
Didn't the lights go out for like a minute?
And the Blackout Bowl, the lights went out.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
So it could be interesting. So we've sort of got a little strip tease potential of the Super Bowl here, maybe.
Nah, blow them out, and then the Eagles would kill them in playoffs, man.
Speaking of Super Bowl potential and the Eagles, Robert, Tyler, thoughts?
Well, cannot lie, these past 3 weeks have been fairly tragic, but I'm hopeful but scared because we got the Giants and Cardinals. Should in theory be free W's, but with the Eagles, in theory is a pretty scary word. As long as we can fix our offense, and if the defense can actually cover people, then I think we'll have a shot.
The defense is even our problem right now, man. They only gave up 20 points last week, and they didn't go that many yards either. It's just, I don't know. If you get 20 points in game and minimal yards in a game, and your offense looks inept, you have to win a game. This is ridiculous. You can't win games by scoring 0 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think, in my personal opinion, I think the Eagles are going to lose this week against the Giants. That's maybe my hot take this week. I actually think the Eagles are going to lose by 10 points against the Giants. That's kind of a hot take right now.
That's extremely hot take.
It is extremely hot. I think we're going to lose. I think personally, that's just my opinion. I think Nick Sirianni is going to be fired by the end of the year this year. I think the Eagles are one and done under Nick Sirianni.
Oh, if we lose all out, he definitely will get fired.
I think we'll for sure lose against the Giants once, and I think it's this week. And I think they'll beat the Cardinals just in a random toss-up. But I think the Eagles are going to lose this week to the Giants. It just this week just has losing written all over it. You have multiple players out that are our star players. You got a quarterback that's struggling that can't even read an elementary school offense or defense right now. The coach is lost. We're firing defensive coordinators midweek. It's not looking good, boys. I'm not gonna lie. This is a lost year written all over it.
The defense did look pretty alright. I think they were better in the first half, but they at least showed up. And
the defense did okay, but let's talk for a second about how the defense let a 92-yard game-winning drive by Drew Lock
I
happen?
would say it wasn't the defense, it was James Bradbury.
James
All right?
Bradbury. Okay, you know what? That's fair, actually.
Or sorry, Bunbury, dude. Get him off the
Maybe
team.
Bunbury.
Dude, this guy
Badbury.
stinks. All right,
Cheeks Bunbury out here.
Cheeks, yeah. Oh man, stinks. All right. I didn't want to start the rant on this guy. All right, he's just stealing money, man. I don't even know how you can be an All-Pro 1 year and look like you don't even deserve to be on an elementary school team. All right, I'm pretty sure I could cover some of these guys better than this guy can right now. I mean, it's pathetic.
That was Drew Lock's only touchdown, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, and he burned us. The DK Metcalf. I mean, I don't even understand it. Like, how? My thing is like having one safety over the top against that team when they were forced to run down the field 92 yards. Like,
Mhm.
you have to have two safeties over the top, and like DK Metcalf should be the one guy you're like, all right, let's blanket him. Like, I don't know how you don't have blanket coverage there. It's pathetic.
Yeah, he's
First
one
of
of the
all,
best wide receivers in the NFL. I don't know what
They
else
only
you
had
can
one
say.
Yeah.
timeout, didn't they? And there was
I
like
don't
a
think they had
minute
any.
left.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
only
think they
had.
had any.
No, they had. Oh, they might have used it on the.
I thought they had
last
used it with the
drive.
ball
They might
back.
have. Yeah. Yeah, you
But
might be right. I can't quite
either
remember.
way, I mean, it's just like
How do you
you
give
are
that
letting
up?
them. Oh, and they gave up 4 third and 10 conversions, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
On
Like,
the same drive. Yeah, that
the
wasn't
same
even like
drive.
that would be a ridiculous stat if it was like in the game for their third and tens. That's not
Yeah,
great if your defense gives that up, but in one drive, come on
in
now.
one drive, and they had that 40-yard DK Metcalf catch on a 3rd and 10. It's like, how are you not bringing a blitzer? Like, I'm sorry, if you're on the they were on the 80-yard line to start that out, right? And they had a 3rd and 10 on the first series of the game or first series of that drive. And you don't bring one blitzer? I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't understand this like philosophy that the Eagles have. They believe in not blitzing because the analytics. It's all about the analytics of the Eagles nowadays. And I think personally, in my opinion, is the analytics need to get the hell out of football. I think it's ruining football. I think no one has a feel for the game anymore. No one has an understanding what actually wins. They just think they're just all paper champions nowadays.
Now,
You
see,
know,
I disagree.
really.
Being a Ravens fan, I mean, if you look at all of the Ravens close games this season, we'll say not the blowout wins against the Seahawks and the Lions. That was cool to watch, but a fluke, really. The Ravens don't play for stats really ever.
And you shouldn't. It's not.
We
It's not
we
about that.
run the football. We pass when we need to, and our defense is great. And they don't play for stats either. They try to win the game.
Well, yeah,
Right, that's
that's the
that's
point.
what I'm
You
saying
look
though.
at Lamar Jackson last week. Okay, he only had 170 yards passing and a touchdown, and I think one interception. But the thing about it is, he made the big plays when it mattered. He
Mhm.
wasn't going for stats. He was content to let Harbaugh call the runs. And he did what he does best: got out of sticky situations
Right.
and either run for a big gain or toss a ball down the field to Isaiah Likely for a 45-yard gain after escaping 2 sacks.
Right, but you guys don't. That's what I'm saying though. Like, I think you're kind of agreeing with me in a way. Like, I'm saying that like the Ravens aren't an analytically driven team. You guys are a
Oh, I see what you're
fundamental.
saying. The
Yeah.
teams that are driven by analytics
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
win
Like
won't
the
win the game
Ravens
away.
are a fundamentally sound football team. The Eagles are not. The Eagles are literally the exact opposite. Like the fundamentals for the Eagles are absolutely awful.
Yeah,
No
they
one can tackle.
back themselves up into a corner, and then they
Yeah.
get to a point where they need to try to get the big play to win the game or whatever.
Mhm.
Like exactly, we gave it that drive. We were down. We were going to lose. So Jalen eats a 40-yard bomb into double coverage, and it gets picked off. Game over.
And on his back foot, which is another unfundamental issue that we have on the team. The Eagles are not a fundamentally strong team. I mean, like watching Lamar play last weekend was like watching a completely new quarterback. I mean, when he first came into the league, I thought he was trash. I thought he'd never become a quarterback. I never thought he could throw a football. I just thought he was a running back. But he has worked so hard to actually be able to throw from the pocket
Oh, he's
and
great.
read a defense.
This year especially, he looks so comfortable in that pocket, and he's still Lamar Jackson, right? So when the pocket collapses, if he can't find anybody open, there's still that threat that he can just sprint 30 yards down the field, and he does it
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yeah.
But
It's great.
that's not what he wants to do anymore. He wants to throw the ball because Baltimore's got good wide receivers this year for the first time in a long time. And I don't know.
Yeah,
He sits back there. He goes through his progression. He reads. He throws it to the open guy. If there's no one open, he'll take off and run or scramble and buy time and throw it anyways.
I feel like
It's
the. Oh, sorry.
great to watch, honestly.
Yeah, well, I just feel like watching him is like watching the epitome of like the new era of NFL quarterbacks, which I think it started, but I think Lamar has really like made it like almost key to where you need a quarterback that can actually run like he does. And
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, the dual
reminds me a
threat
lot.
quarterback has become a newer thing.
He reminds me a lot. I don't know if y'all have watched like old clips of Fran Tarkenton back before the NFL was a thing. The old Vikings quarterback from the 40s.
I
But
remember him. Yeah,
I know
Fran
who that is, but
Tarkenton,
I haven't
yeah,
watched it.
I've seen some old. I mean, he was a walking highlight reel, and Lamar Jackson plays very similarly. Fran Tarkenton, like he could bomb it down the field. He could throw the intermediate passes. He was always looking to pass, but he was also super dangerous as a running threat. And watching him scramble, I mean, watching Lamar scramble, I'm sorry, reminds me a lot of that.
mm-hmm.
That
I
type
agree.
of, and I think, did Fran Tarkenton ever win any championships? I know there were no Super Bowls back then, but
Not with the Vikings, I don't think. I don't think they've won any.
Let me see.
well, they've never won a Super Bowl. Yeah, he won 3. Oh
Oh,
no.
before it was the Super
Oh
Bowl, is that what
no,
you're saying?
they went to 3 Super Bowls with Tarkenton. I'm sorry, I thought he was further back before the Super Bowl era.
So you went to a couple and just
He
didn't
went
win
to
them.
3 Super Bowl. They just never managed to win it. But yeah, he
Yeah.
won 3 NFC championships.
Damn. Okay.
But yeah, but Lamar Jackson reminds me a lot of that. And I don't know. I think the Ravens have high hopes, especially like you said, he's really picked up his passing game.
Yeah, I have Ravens win the Super Bowl this year. I'm gonna say it now. I think they're gonna win. They're the best team in the NFL.
The Ravens are either going to win the Super Bowl or lose in the first round of the playoffs. That's what we do every year.
no,
We
no.
either
That
go all the way or we're one and done.
eye test. Ravens are the best team in the league. Only one that can beat, even come close to beating them, is the 49ers, in my opinion.
It is
I
also
think the
what the
Eagles are
Eagles
so far
usually
out.
do.
Sorry.
I think right now, as we speak, the 49ers are the best team in the league. I
don't think that.
think it's extremely close. And I think this week is going to kind
Be
of
the real
prove
test, yeah.
it's going to be the real test for both teams because these are the 2 best teams in the league right now. They're playing each
Yeah.
other. It's going to prove which one is better.
I got Ravens by 10. I'm gonna say it right now. I got Ravens by 10.
I think if we do win, it's going to be by 1 score.
I think this is my
I think
thing
it's going to
about the
be
49ers.
5 points at the most.
The 49ers are the definition of front runners. Okay, I'm gonna say it now. If you look at all the games they've won this year, they have always front run. Okay,
Interesting.
it's if you think about it, you shut the run game down for them, they are nothing. Brock Purdy can only be good with play action. If you look at anything that they've ever done,
Which
it's
is
play
fair,
action.
and it works. But
It
if the
does.
defense knows how to stop it, you're kind of out of luck.
I think that's the problem though, is because
Which you
they
might have a
haven't played a
point there.
defense.
The Ravens' defense is, number 2 in the league.
Oh, absolutely. If
After
not the
Cleveland.
best.
And it's going to be, I don't know, it's going to be interesting. Because
I mean, think about it.
you
The
also got to
49
think about the coaching, right? Because Kyle Shanahan's
Mhm.
a really good head coach. Whether you like or dislike San Francisco, I mean, he's taken a team. They've got, a lot of Pro Bowlers and stars and things, but his system just works. And it has for a long time now.
Kyle Shanahan's a choker. I mean, he's the definition of a choker. I still yet to believe that he can win a Super Bowl because his ego is too big for his actual ability, in my opinion.
Interesting.
But yeah. So.
Well, and it's good to be like a front runner. Like you want to be ahead, because in theory, the point of the offense is to score and put yourself in the lead, and then the defense is to cover yourself to prevent the other team from scoring and tying or coming back. Instead of trying to come from behind with your offense and then also trying to have your defense prevent them from scoring more and widening the gap.
Yeah. That's understandable.
Yeah. I just think that the Ravens defense, it might be the only defense in the NFL that can stop Christian McCaffrey. And I think if you can do that, we haven't really seen that. Okay, but I will say this: the Eagles did stop Christian McCaffrey in the NFC Championship game last year, and 49ers scored 1 touchdown. Okay. Now, granted, Brock Purdy got hurt, but let's be honest. Anyone really can run the system that Kyle Shanahan has. I mean, it's purely play action driven. Like the entire thing runs on them being able to run the football effectively.
Hmm.
What makes me nervous about that though is they're really good at it, and they've got
They are.
Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, who are two of the best combo wide receiver running backs in the league. You know, Debo can talk about how he's a pure wide receiver all he wants, but we know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And Christian McCaffrey, who is almost as good at catching as he is at running.
Yes,
So, I mean,
Yeah.
our defense is going to have to be on the ball
That's why you
literally.
played
on,
Roquan Smith so much
on
money.
Sunday. We do. That's why we paid Roquan Smith the big bucks.
That's
That's going to be his.
But
That's going to
he's
be his
good
assignment is stopping Christian McCaffrey from running the ball.
he's gonna do it, man. I'm telling you. I just see the 49ers not winning this. I mean,
because
I can't imagine it.
that's just fundamental defense. Like if you take away the run and you limit their options and you force them to pass, then you know what they're going to do and you can plan
Mhm.
to effectively stop it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's how the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 2017, man. They got ahead and they forced these quarterbacks to have to throw the ball, and they just had the D line pin their ears back and run right at them.
Now, I can't say too much about this subject. Actually, I can't talk shit or anything because the Ravens have played from the lead every single game this season, and we somehow have lost 3 of them.
Yeah.
The Ravens have had the lead in every game this season with 2 minutes or less on the clock.
Whew.
So
Damn.
Yeah, they're really dominant, man.
yeah,
I think they're dominant. I think I mean if it's a close game, I still just the only way I can really see the 49ers winning is if they get up by a touchdown or 14 points. I mean, like if they get up, you know what I mean, and then you guys had really
yeah.
forced to throw the ball to get back. But I just think this defense the Ravens have is second best in the league, like you said. I think their offense is good. I also think Lamar is taking care of the football really well
He's
too.
doing a lot better with that this year. He had some fumble issues last year before he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He is looking a lot better. He's only fumbled a couple of times.
Yeah.
And most of his fumbles this year have been strip sacks. It hasn't been him dropping the ball while he's running,
Mm-mm.
which
Yeah.
I'm honestly that's fine. If the defender gets to you and punches the ball out, there's only so much you can do about it.
Just when your hands on the ball so much.
Another thing to consider. This is kind of a meaningless stat, but Lamar Jackson is 20-1 against NFC teams in his career.
Mm.
Damn.
I mean, he's got the NFC figured out.
Yeah. Well, NFC, in my opinion, has been a little weaker in the last couple of years. Personally, I think honestly, I think the NFC is a little less physical too. I don't know if you guys have an opinion on that too, but I think it's a less physical conference right now.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, honestly. Looking
You
at all the
know,
teams in the NFC, I mean,
it's 3 teams, man. There's only really 3 teams that are dominant, and I mean, all of them are physical. I don't think it's the same physicality. I mean, the
even in
49ers and the Ravens are pretty similar.
even in the AFC, there's not a ton of physicality really anymore. I mean, you got the AFC
Yeah.
North is always brutal. The Ravens and the Browns, top 2 defenses in the league.
Yeah.
With the Steelers up there in top 5, and
Yeah, they're just
you
always
watch all 3 of
playing
them,
tough.
and the one thing they have in common, all 3 of those defenses, is they hit hard,
Yeah, that's a big
and
deal.
they hit hard, and they never look gassed, really.
That's another big deal.
Even when they're losing, they
Not like Jordan
always
Davis
yeah,
huffing and puffing on the
Davis.
sideline. That
That
man
was
huffs and puffs to get onto the sideline, bro.
bro. I thought you were doing your usual thing, Tyler, when you were talking about Jordan Davis the other day on Monday,
No.
where you were like, "No, he stinks. He's huffing and puffing after 2 plays." I was like, "All right, Tyler's just being dramatic like he is." And then I watched him come in, take 1 snap, play the
Come right
play,
back
and
out.
then had to come right back out because he was breathing hard. I was like, "Oh my god."
Played 1 snap, dude. Yeah, I don't want to talk about him, but one of the subjects I had brought up, and I think I really want to talk about. I don't know if we need to spend too much time on it, but I thought it's a really interesting take that I have, or maybe opinion that I have. But I think that NFL teams should stop paying quarterbacks $50 million a year. And my opinion is I would rather have a rookie quarterback or a cheap quarterback that is average and to pay 10 players or 8 players the $50 million combined than have one maybe above average quarterback.
So you're talking you want a slightly above average quarterback. So let's say like a Baker Mayfield type motherfucker.
Yeah, I'd rather have
You
him.
want a Baker Mayfield type guy
Nope.
with star like wide receivers.
I
Yep.
think it should
Yeah.
be a proportion. Like you should proportionally divvy up a contract where your performance, like you have a set amount that you are guaranteed in your contract. You're guaranteed 50 million over 5 years, but you can increase the amount that you are given based upon performance.
Yeah, and that's in the
Yes.
NFL right now for sure. It's just not like to that like usually it's just the guaranteed money that affects like your market cap. And I mean a lot of players nowadays are getting 50 million a year guaranteed. Right? That's like the starting rate for like a quarterback now.
Yeah. Hang on a second.
So
I'm pulling up Lamar Jackson's contract right now because he just
I
signed, I think, the second biggest contract
Okay.
in
Yeah.
NFL history. $260 million deal. He's got $135 million fully guaranteed.
135. That actually is pretty low on the
Hey.
guarantee though.
Yeah, 135 guaranteed.
Over 5 years, so that's 27 million guaranteed.
Over 5 years, and the rest is performance based, like Andy was saying.
Yeah, that's actually I think that's a really good way of doing it. I definitely agree with that because I don't know. Can you pull up Jalen Hurts' contract really quick? Because he just got
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
It was
this is-
255, I think, but I don't know what the guarantee was. Because
Yeah,
Jalen got 51 million a year.
I agree with Andy because that way you're not. It's always like a roll of the dice. I mean, unless it's like Tom Brady, he has a good season every year or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're not that way. You're not paying a quarterback like $300 million because he did really good, and the next year he's completely shit, and you've like blown your money.
Yeah.
So Jalen Hurts' contract is 255 and with 180 million guaranteed.
Yeah, he got more than Lamar, and that was over 5 years, right? So that's 36 million a year guaranteed. If he is hurt for the entire year, he still gets that money, right? And
Yep.
my thing is you look at some of these players, right? And like I'm gonna just use the Eagles example because I think that's the team I know the best. Is last year we went to the Super Bowl, right? And you look at, I would rather have C.J. Gardner-Johnson, T.J. Edwards, and Marcus Epps on the team still than have Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna say that now. I personally would rather have 8 top tier players or really, really above average players than have a above average quarterback. I think that if you have a really good team around a quarterback, and let's just say he's average, like he is like a Baker Mayfield, right? I think you can win a Super Bowl if you have a really stacked roster around that quarterback. Like you
Mhm.
just need a guy that can throw the ball 2 yards. I mean, look at the 49ers. They have talent everywhere, and they're paying Brock Purdy like $2 million a year.
Oh, not even. He's making $800,000 a year.
$800,000
which
a
is
year.
still a lot of money, but Jalen Hurts is making $32 million a year.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I think that's not a winning formula in the NFL anymore. And like I can't name many teams that have won Super Bowls paying their quarterbacks 36 million plus a year in guaranteed money.
Kansas City.
Oh yeah, but
That
okay.
is true.
That,
Mahomes,
yeah,
Patrick
that's
Mahomes
fair.
signed a $500 million deal after 2020 and then went to 2 more Super Bowls and won both of them after that.
That's fair. I guess
So,
that's true. Well, he's also kind of. I think he's an exception though because he might be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. He might be the greatest quarterback ever.
But also
He is very good.
Talking about stacking the roster around a slightly above average quarterback, Bill Belichick and the Patriots made a living on doing that for 20 years. Tom Brady, like he has the most Super Bowl wins of all time, but if you look at Tom Brady's actual season by season stats, he only has a couple of standout seasons where he was truly like that elite top tier best quarterback you've ever seen.
Yep.
The rest of the time, he was mostly average, but he had great wide receivers. I mean, he had Wes Welker, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman. I mean, all over. He had Randy Moss for a few years.
Mhm.
And the offensive line.
And the offensive line was always fantastic. And Bill Belichick's defenses have always been amazing.
That's been the biggest thing for me is their defense has always been so good, and defense wins championships.
The other thing about Tom Brady that made him, I think, better really than most of these modern quarterbacks is he was willing to take salary hits so that the Patriots could sign offensive weapons for him to throw the fucking ball to.
I agree.
Now, these quarterbacks, that's why the Chiefs are in such shit right now, and they don't look anywhere near like they do the last couple of years. Patrick Mahomes signed that $500 million deal, and they had to get rid of all their good players because they can't afford to pay them.
Yeah, they traded Tyreek.
They traded
Tyreek's out.
They traded the only good player they have on offense right now is Patrick Mahomes. Even
Well, Chris
Travis
Jones
Kelsey,
almost had a good pick too.
even Travis Kelsey doesn't look that good this year.
No, he wants to retire though, from what I hear.
Well, he's getting old. I mean,
Yeah, he said he wanted to retire soon.
yeah,
So
I bet he plays one or
yeah.
two more seasons and he's done. But
Yeah.
But yeah, they had to get rid of all their good wide receivers, and it shows. The Chiefs have the most drops by wide receivers this year in the NFL by like a lot. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, they had like 5 or 6 against the Eagles that
Because
one
yeah,
week.
Yeah, they should have won that game, but he dropped the game-winning touchdown.
yeah,
Yep.
and he dropped 4 other passes aside from that, and it just doesn't work.
So then, that begs the question: is does QB talent matter?
Let's hear Andy's thoughts first. We've kind of been excluding him.
Sorry, Andy.
Oh, I mean, really, the only things in the NFL I currently am looking at is pretty much the poor performance from the Eagles last game kind of makes me think that the Giants are probably going to have an upset against them.
Woo!
Yeah, Tyler's been
Is
talking about that
spicy.
too.
Is definitely something that, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility that we'll lose at least one of those games.
I think it's within the realm of possibility for sure.
Woo.
The Giants have been looking a little better coming towards the end of the season here. Tommy DeVito coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I don't know, man. If the Eagles, I think the Eagles are gonna lose to the Giants, but I don't want it to happen. But Philly is gonna be on fire if the Eagles lose to the Giants.
And
And,
it's normally a tough city, but I'll go ahead, Andy.
And being a Bears fan, we're going up against the Cardinals, so we might win. But really, the best thing about being a Bears fan currently is knowing that you're going to get a first round draft pick. So that's
Damn
kind
right.
of where I look at right
got
now.
that going for you.
Yes, sir. Because the Panthers suck,
And-
and you have their picks.
You got that one
Here's what
overall.
Here's as my concern in that realm kind of is like we have a quarterback that's not too bad, not too good. He's right around average for where he's being, and he's definitely
Mhm.
showing like a little bit of improvement.
He's shown some improvement
He
this
looks
season.
pretty good, yeah.
So do the Bears want to get rid of him, like how they fucking do a lot of the times, and or do they want to build a team around him? And they have a good opportunity right now to at least get a couple of good people to build around him, or they use it to just get another quarterback.
What do you think they should do, Andy?
I think they should build around him.
Yeah, give him a chance, because this next year will be what, like his third year? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
4th, I think.
4th, wow.
But yeah, so he'll have gotten way more experience and gotten pretty used to the Chicago system. So to, in theory, draft another QB, say you suck, get out of here, trade him, put him to a whole different team. If that happened, it could in theory work for him. You never know, but I don't think it's a great idea. Like, I kind of agree with Andy you saying. You get better wide receivers or tight end or
Offensive
something.
line. Get an offensive line to protect this man. He's running for his life every play.
Here's what I think about Justin Fields, and I'm not a Bears fan, so I don't know a ton about him. But from what I've seen, if the Bears manage him right, he could easily become like the next Lamar Jackson. He's got the leg talent, he's got the arm talent. He's just kind of underdeveloped at the moment, it feels like.
He can definitely run and throw the ball deep. Like that final play against the Browns, they were at like midfield or something when he threw the Hail Mary. So that's pretty impressive, first of all. And they should have won. Like the ball got hit right to the receiver and he fell in the end zone, but
he just dropped it.
He just dropped it and it bounced off his feet and the Browns guy got it.
Yeah. Well, at 1 overall too, it puts the Bears in a position where they could trade out of that pick and have a team that wants a quarterback to come up and take it. You could theoretically get a couple first rounds out of that, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so. There's a few teams in the league right now that need a quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean Caleb Williams.
Vikings, bro. You could take all of the Vikings picks for the next 5 years to get them a better quarterback than.
There's no way the Bears would trade with the Vikings, though, right?
No,
I mean, the Bears would.
But
I mean, dude, the Bears already have 2 first-round picks, right? Let's say like they traded out of that first, they could end with 4 first-round picks potentially.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could build a team with that.
Oh, easily. You could build a great team. I mean,
Yeah.
Ohio State has several incredible wide receivers right now. You've got Marvin Harrison's son.
Oh yeah, Harrison Jr. is great.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is a phenomenal player. He's coming in. You've got, there's always Alabama and Georgia always have great players.
Oh yeah, that tight end I'm telling you from Georgia, that guy Bowser, he looks really good too.
Yeah, yep, Brock Bowers. He's a beast.
So
I-
long, Gay Bowser.
As a Bears fan, I know that when the Bears take time to build the team, can do good. And then when we
Oh,
just
yeah.
keep not utilizing these draft picks that we keep accommodating because we keep sucking, we keep falling into the same repetitive motion of a bad season to a semi decent season, but most of them they're
Yeah.
not good. Last
Yeah.
time, I mean, we were good. We had Trubisky and
It's Trubisky.
Double
guy.
doink.
Yeah, that was tragic.
Yeah, that was tragic. Yeah, I
Um,
mean, the Bears have been built by defenses their entire existence.
Oh,
Yeah.
always, yeah.
But yeah, it was the
Literally.
80 or 70? It was 70 or 80s. The Bears had one of the most
Eight.
legendary defense.
85,
The
the
eight-
85 Bears.
Yeah.
yeah.
The only defense statistically that's ever been better than the 85 Bears was the 2000 Ravens.
Woof.
And I think the most important takeaway here, Robert and Tyler, is that, the Eagles are playing like shit right now, but they'll probably
Oh.
bounce back.
Oh, I didn't want to hear it.
This is true. And like technically,
The future
none of
is
these
promising.
3 games don't really matter because we already got a playoff spot.
Yep.
But you still
I don't
hate to
know.
see the team lose.
I think
I mean,
hope is dead, guys.
They would still have implications as far as the franchise, like coaches getting fired or stuff like that. But at least for this season, we still have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, you get in the dance, you always have a chance, right? That's the
So
old
you're
saying,
saying there's a chance.
Hey,
What are
man,
the odds? One in
And
a
here's the
million.
deal: the playoffs are a whole new season. Okay, almost no team plays in the playoffs like they do in the regular season. They either
It's
play
very
a
true.
lot better or worse. And
That's
you
true.
know,
And the beauty of football is like sort of circling back to the analytics thing. You never really know for sure. The goddamn
It's the
Panthers
NFL.
could beat the Ravens or the 49ers. Like, not
It could
saying they
happen.
actually
Yeah.
could, but it's possible.
It's the NFL, but that's
True.
the big thing to remember too. Is every single guy on that field is a professional athlete, and
They're all paid.
they are all the best of the best at their game, even the
Yup.
ones who look like shit. I mean, there's a reason they are on those teams, and anything can happen at any time in any game. So
You
you
can
never
catch
know.
fire, man. Lightning in a bottle is a real thing, all right?
Yep.
It's a real
Like,
thing.
could I throw the ball as far or run as fast as Jalen Hurts? Hell no.
Hell
And
no.
right now, you probably throw a ball better than him. but-
99.9% of people couldn't do anything. that
Could
these
I
guys
stand
can
in
do.
there and like taking so many hits every game and keep doing it every week?
No.
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 Can I squat 600 pounds?
Oh, 100%
Hey,
you
did
could.
ever know that
Absolutely.
Jalen Hurts can squat 600 pounds?
Yeah, didn't you hear, Andy? Don't you know?
Fucking Christ.
But don't you know?
Anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting coming up. It's wild right now. The AFC in particular, 11 of the 16 teams are at 500 or better.
Yeah, that's pretty
which
wild.
is
That's
insane.
competitive.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. There's a lot that could happen between now and then.
And yeah, related to the Bears, I was looking it up because I was curious. They went 8-8 a couple years in a row, a couple years ago, but
Yeah.
they won the division at 12-4 back in 2018.
That
Oh,
recently.
damn.
Mhm.
Was that the double doink?
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay, I think it was the year after the Super Bowl for the Eagles that we had that game against the Bears. And they were
Yeah.
so good with Khalil Mack, too. Oh, my God. That was just insane to me. They should have gone further.
And currently, right now, at time of recording this, there's Thursday Night Football. We got the Rams and the Saints. So this game has some implications because
So both of those teams are coming on strong here at the end of the season.
if the Saints pull out a win, they're currently losing 20-7. But if they pull out a win, they'll be leading the division at 8-7.
Oh my god.
Like,
That's like the Redskins when they won against in the NFC East
whoa,
like 2
man,
years
you
ago.
can't say that anymore, man. Whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
oh, sorry.
Commanders.
Oh,
whoa.
yeah. Sorry, the
Don't be
Commanders.
a
Oh,
racist piece of shit.
yeah. Man, I couldn't believe I said that. It slipped. Yeah. So they only had that name for 6 years. Yeah. So they won the division at like 7-9, right? Like 3 years
Let me
ago.
try and find it.
I mean,
Hold
let's
on.
be real. Outside of the Eagles and Dallas, every now and again, that division is usually pretty tragic.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Eagles were 4-12 that year, and the Cowboys were like 5 and like
Yep.
11.
Yeah, 2020 Eagles 4-11 and a tie.
Ooh,
Cowboys
right.
and Giants at 6-10. And Washington brings it home at 7-9.
7-9, maybe.
ow.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
even
so
if the
gross.
division is trash, somebody's got to win it. I
If
mean,
I was Roger Goodell, I would have taken away their playoff spot. But
They
like
got a home playoff
nobody from
game.
the NFC North gets to be in the playoffs this year. You all suck.
nobody with a
We're gonna give it to-
losing
we're gonna
record
give it
gets
to
to make the
someone. Yeah,
playoffs.
we're gonna give it to someone who deserves it.
Oh my
Uh,
god. Breaking
Christ.
news. Derek Carr just threw a pick.
Um,
Oh, there it is. Yep, in double
What do you
coverage.
think about
Yeah.
adding? What do you think about adding bonuses, like performance bonuses of like pass plays, uh field goal yardage? Um, what if you do 50 to what? Yeah, 20 to $50,000 bonuses for week 16 best play of the game, or
Hmm.
$100,000 bonuses for like yeah, best plays of the game, and put more incentives in there for the players to try to work outside of a try to add more I guess dangerous outcomes, but
Mhm.
put more on the line and you can get more of an outcome.
Yeah,
I'm for it.
Sometimes you may get hurt trying to do it, but you
more
tried it.
excitement.
I don't think the NFL would ever allow that, but I think players get bonuses for things already, but it's not much. But
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I think my biggest issue with that though is it goes back to what we were discussing earlier about stat padding.
Yeah, that's
Because
fair.
I mean, your incentive then is to just win that bonus, not the game.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Instead of running a normal route, you're gonna like, I was supposed to do a slant, but I'm gonna go deep down the field and catch an 80-yard touchdown.
yeah, you catch that 80-yard touchdown, you get $100,000, and then you don't care.
What about wins? What do you guys think about if they added incentives for a win versus a loss?
See, now I think if you combine those two ideas, then you're cooking because you've
Yeah.
got you. So let's say Jalen Hurts gets $100,000 bonus if he throws at least 2 touchdowns, right? Okay, but he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
get that money unless they also win the game.
Mhm. Because
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
touchdowns is in theory like
Well,
relatively.
that would be kind of a whole like, because think about if there was an amazing play but the team didn't win the game in the end. There'd be
That's
plenty
fair.
of those where it'd be like, okay, that deserves a lot of money, but by this rule incentive,
Okay, maybe if you don't win, you get like it gets like cut in half or something like that.
Because I do see
100,000
I
the.
if you
I,
make the line and you win, 50 if you lose.
I think yeah, that's the way
Yeah.
like the way the UFC does it is the way I like it is, let's say two fighters are fighting and they do an amazing job and one fighter wins and the other fighter doesn't. But out of all the fights that happened that night, that fight got the performance of the night. And so one fighter would get, yeah, like 50,000 and the other one would get like 20,000.
So they'd still get a good chunk of change even though they lost.
Yeah.
Right.
All
Yeah,
right,
It,
that makes
I can
sense.
see that working out
it's the
actually.
fact that the two teams or the two fighters put it all on the line to try to win that game.
Yeah, and I mean
Yeah, I
they
like
got
that.
I
beat
like
up
that
for like
because
a half an
then
hour.
yeah, because then you're incentivized to play well because you want the money, and also to play to win because you
Hmm.
want the money.
Well, and this
Yeah.
goes back to again, this goes back to where we were just talking about. It's like, oh, I don't want my quarterback to have $300 million contracts. And it's like, okay, well, they are technically playing at the highest level. I mean, you got
Yeah.
CFL, you got XFL, and then you got the NFL. And if you say that you're part of the CFL or XFL, you're like, but are you a part of the NFL?
Hmm.
Because that's where
Yeah.
the best players will play.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
expect I expect the large amounts of money. But with that also being said, if you are the best player, put it all out there. There's a reason why you are the best.
Yeah, I think for me, I would like a heavier incentive program because like I feel like that's how people in real life function too. Like you want to know you're gonna get paid, right?
Hmm.
But you also I think like having that extra incentive I think is important too because like if you can have the ability to earn double your money, everybody's gonna try to win to earn that double money, right? Like
Yes.
I think that there's a little complacency in the NFL with teams that aren't bad. Like if you start being bad, teams are just gonna be complacent, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think if you're a winning franchise and you're a winning team, I don't think you need the extra incentive to play better. But I don't think it hurts either.
No, not at all. And I think that's one of the reasons, bringing it back to Lamar Jackson here, he's playing so much better this year is because so much of his contract is incentive based. He's got a real desire to win the game. And it
Hmm.
shows. You can see it on his face. Every time he runs and doesn't get big yardage, he looks frustrated because he wants more. He wants to win.
Wants that ring, man.
Yeah, he wants the ring, and that's the ultimate goal in the NFL, right? You want to win a Super Bowl. That's what
Yes.
Yes,
every
sir.
single player on that field is trying to do at the very end of the day. They want the Super Bowl win.
That's what it's
Yes,
all about.
sir.
That's the big time.
I didn't know if you guys wanted to talk about another subject to get a little NFL of our NFL junkies out of this, but what about GTA 6? You guys watch that trailer? Do you guys have any thoughts or feelings on GTA 6 in 2025?
Let's hear from Andy. I feel like Andy's got a lot of thoughts about this.
Well, first and foremost, that's it's an amazing trailer. I mean, the details look incredible. I feel like when you have 20 million people view your thing in less than a week,
Yeah,
you're going to
I'm
have
gonna pull it up right
multiple.
now.
You're going to have a lot
absolutely,
of opinions.
absolutely
A lot.
shattered Mr. Beast's most views in 24 hours record. Also,
Seriously.
absolutely shattered it
Yeah,
Wow.
by
non-music
millions.
video record. It definitely is the number one. I like it. I definitely think it has potential. My ultimate thing that I'm gonna say is that this is the make it or break it for Rockstar. If
Really?
they do not deliver what they're promising, and this is not even you don't even see the gameplay, it's just a visual trailer. If they do not deliver on just this promise alone, it will probably be the end of Rockstar. We're talking about a
Really?
game that has taken years and years and years to come out. And if they have a relative, uh, if they have any relatively bad bugs in the game, I don't think that the player base will want to play it. If they push too much wokeness in it, I don't think the players will
Oh
want to
yeah.
play it. And if they do that, it really will be the end of Rockstar. I don't think they can
Yeah.
come back. They might be that, and if when they see that their stocks are plummeting, people don't want to invest, people don't want to play the game. When they start seeing that, they're going to push Red Dead 3 out, and it's going to be that's going to be a poorly made game. It a game that shouldn't be pushed out so fast.
They're gonna rush it because they want to recover from the GTA 6 hit.
There's no way
Exactly.
GTA 6 doesn't make
Now,
money.
I think of the big major studios that are left making decent games in the gaming, which isn't very many these days,
Uh-huh.
Rockstar has been the most on top of it.
Oh yeah.
Because let's
Yes.
look at their past track record, relative recent history. Okay, you had Red Dead Redemption 1, phenomenal game. Okay,
Great.
then you had GTA 5, obviously one of the goated games. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's millions of people still play that today. It's 10 years old. Okay, and then coming after GTA 5, you had Red Dead 2, which was even better than Red Dead
Phenomenal.
1.
Yeah, Red Dead one's really good.
Way improved on it. And
And it,
sorry to cut you off, Cody, but
oh, yeah.
like Andy was saying, I just pulled up here. So Red Dead 1 came out in 2010. Red Dead 2 was 2018, which first off is wild to think that was already 5 years ago. But side tangent,
Fast.
Jesus
like
Christ. Yeah.
and so GTA 4 was 2008. GTA 5 was 2013. That's 5 years. So, and from GTA 6 is 2025, so that'd be 12 years. Plenty of time for the game. They might even be working at Red Dead 3 in the background as well. But
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, they probably are.
yeah, so if 6 comes out and it's bad, like Andy was saying, they're going to have to be like, oh, we got to fix this, get Red Dead 3 out. And instead of giving it another like 5 years or something like that to be fully finished and polished, they'll shove it out and it won't be as great. And then the whole thing will go down.
Yeah,
Like the studio could be
There's
done.
no way it doesn't make money. I mean, this GTA is a money printing
I
device.
think GTA 6, even if it's bad,
Oh,
will make
definitely.
a ton of money
the
initially.
Because people are going
the
to buy it.
sword Rockstar has made is a double-edged sword. That is the only way to say it. Yes, on one hand, they have had 12 years of time to get their game. That's a good thing. You put 12 years of dedication and investment and hard work into it.
Mhm.
Theoretically,
But
that
on the
means that they won't
but
launch an unfinished game.
but on the other
Yes.
hand, that's
Cyberpunk.
12 years of time and dedication. And if your player base gets something that they don't like,
Mm-hmm.
think about that. Think about what you have to do to recover from 12 years of stuff that doesn't mean anything now because the
Yeah.
players don't want to play it.
No, that's very
Yes,
true.
yeah. If it comes out and it's bad and nobody's going to want to play it, they're just going to be done with it. Well,
And
they'll just go back to GTA 5 probably, but
and let's be honest, it's the campaign is only 25% of GTA. 75% is the multiplayer. So when they do come out with the multiplayer side of this, and if they don't incorporate uh, RP and let people use the mod system that they allowed for GTA 5, think about all the players that they're losing right there
That's a
because
huge
people
community for GTA.
Yeah, that's a
it's
big
now.
community.
it's most of the community for GTA. So it's really interesting to see what they are going to do and how they can kind of move around this, but it's also you can see how they can kill themselves by trying to move around this.
Yeah, I'm sure they're probably gonna handle it in GTA 5. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't. Why they want to change the formula? I mean, they've been a pretty big community-based game.
Well,
From like my understanding.
yeah, and what we're also talking about, GTA 5 was at that point kind of almost making fun of woke culture, and at this point, woke culture is kind of the normalized view.
Yeah.
So
At least in the media for sure.
Yeah,
right.
definitely the media. Yeah.
I
I
think
wonder where they're leaning towards. I hope they keep a very centered point of view on stuff where they're like, here's very crazy right wing things, here's crazy left wing things, like, and here's like this area, this state, Florida, where they all kind of like converge into each other.
I'm about to say
Now,
Florida is
see,
just a wild place, man.
the lawless
that's
wasteland.
all. I was gonna say that's already a +1 in their favor. They picked the absolute perfect setting for this game.
Yes.
If that leaked map is real, it's gonna be based on the tip of Florida, like the bottom half of the state. So you're gonna have Orlando, Miami, and Tampa Bay. And I think and the Everglades, the swamplands in between.
Oh
And I think
yeah.
there is so much opportunity to do
Oh
that
yeah.
perfect GTA, like what GTA is known for, right? Like Andy was saying, that balance between the insanity of both sides of the political spectrum.
Mhm.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like, especially with I mean, I loved in GTA 5 like the meth that they had, or wasn't it meth, or was it cocaine? I can't remember what was the guy of the trailer that looks
Oh
like
yeah.
Cade. Trevor. Dude, the Everglades, bro, you could do so much with that. I mean, there's infinite possibilities, and I don't know. I think the game looks good from the trailer. I mean, that's a trailer, obviously, but just the track record alone tells me it's gonna be a good game.
It has 150 million views.
Yeah, 155.
But here,
155 million views.
I
It came
want
out
to
2
say
weeks
this
ago.
too. Why Rockstar is so big too, like, and why I say this is because Rockstar doesn't just appeal to my generation and your generation. It appeals to my dad and his generation. I mean, my dad played GTA 5 and he played GTA 4 and he's played GTA 3.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I'm saying. If the 55-year-old man does not like this GTA,
Yeah.
then the 45-year-old man's probably not gonna like it. The 35-year-old man's probably not gonna like it. I mean, we all just want, in the end, we want to be able to get 5 stars and run away from police.
Yes.
I'm about to say we all want to go throw like $100 bills on strippers and go shoot
Yeah.
up a meth lab and then go
Yeah.
fly a plane or go crash
It's
a
awesome.
$1 million
GTA
car.
is so great and so appealing because it's that game that's close enough to real life to be like, I don't know, good, funny,
Mhm.
and like it captures the insanity of real life pretty well, but it also
Right.
gives you the opportunity to do all the things that like maybe you've wanted to try in real life. Those, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about those intrusive thoughts that
Yeah.
come in,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can't do them in real life, and you know you can't, and you're never gonna do that in real life. But in Grand
Oh,
Theft Auto, you
100%.
can, and it's fun because it
Exactly.
doesn't matter. It's a video game.
Like you can just
Exactly.
park your car on the highway,
That's
call
always
Strava
been
Gym, and blow it up.
Yeah, that's
You can
always
crash your
been
car
like
on a
one of
bridge.
the biggest appeals of Grand Theft, any of the Grand Theft Autos from
Mm-hmm.
I'd say from 3 on.
Mhm.
Is just that you can do whatever you want with no real consequences because it's fun to be able to do that.
Yeah, in the huge
Oh,
open world, and like if
And they're
the
not,
cops
and they've
kill you,
never,
you just respawn.
and they've never tried to push the political agenda.
No.
And they're just fun.
They're
They
kind of
just
like
make good games.
South Park in a way of like where GTA is just so crazy, but it's grounded in reality still a little bit. It's its own thing, and they can just kind of make fun of whoever, like everybody, and
Yeah.
they get away with it because they do it well. And the people they're making fun of probably even see it and they're like, "Yeah, you're right."
You're right.
Well, what I like about Rockstar and their games is that every game that they have made, the person that you are playing, like their single player campaign, the person that you're playing, uh, is every time either going to figure out, oh, I'm alone in this situation, I'm alone. I've been alone. Or they realize like, oh, I only have these very few people I can trust. In every Rockstar game, it's like that. And when you do those kind of things, you put the person that's playing the game in way more of an interactive and emotional state of playing the game. They feel way more immersed into it because they're making these decisions that and then they're realizing too like, oh, these people are fucking me over, or like this whole time I've been in a game and they've been playing me. And I feel like Rockstar has always done a really good job. I just kind of hope that they don't push some sort of like stupid
Agenda.
Yeah.
agenda.
Their
One
narrative.
way or
Yeah.
the other, honestly. Like they can have their funny
Yeah.
like extremist politics for both sides and everything like that, but that's another thing Rockstar games have always been good at is the main character is never politically opinionated. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, look
very
at
lone.
GTA 5.
It's very
All
lone
three
wolf.
characters. All three characters in GTA 5. I mean, none of them have like ever really voice a political opinion ever. They just
No.
they're out there like just fucking trying to rob banks. Like that's their goal.
Yup. Trying to get money,
Trying to get
women,
money.
fame,
Trevor
all
is
the things that we all want.
trying to sell meth. He's trying to make a meth empire. Michael's trying to
Yeah.
escape his past, and Franklin's trying to break out of the slums. Like, and there's no political agenda there. It's just three dudes doing like focused on a goal.
They're trying to
Yeah.
do the American dream, man.
I
They're
guess
just
I can
regular
Version
say-
dudes.
of it.
I guess I can have faith that it might probably not have a political agenda without the game even being out yet, just because the game comes out after the U.S. elections in 2024. So
I think that was done on purpose. I was thinking
And
about
it-
that
Yeah,
earlier today.
and
Most
it's like
likely, yeah.
if the game was pushed out, March of next year before the election season, and then it's like trying to have an agenda in it, that would kind of make sense. But either way, that I feel like if they were to do that, that would hurt them more than they think it would benefit anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's kind of funny because I don't know if you guys have heard much about this whole Trump getting taken off the ballot for Colorado or anything, but I mean, I swear, everybody and their mom is talking about it around me, and I fully don't really understand it. I can't lie, I don't really understand like what the ruling was or whatever, but I've never seen this before. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that before or heard of
No.
this. Like,
I mean, in my living memory,
Yeah.
which, when I was a kid, fucking Bill Clinton was president. But
No, this has never really happened, and like the rundown.
No, I didn't even
basically
know.
is we're using the Colorado Supreme Court is trying to rule this. In my opinion, first of all, the United States Supreme Court is going to
They're going to overturn it
overturn it, overrule it,
immediately. That's
and
extremely
because
unconstitutional.
Trump stacked the Supreme Court a third in his favor anyway, so
Yes, he did.
but here's the thing, if this wasn't to get overturned, then this does technically constitute every state can adopt this ruling,
Yeah, it's a
because
huge states' rights issue.
since a state Supreme Court ruled on it, then all states have the right to adopt it without having to have a state Supreme Court rule it on
Yep.
itself.
If one Supreme Court rules, all the others can follow suit.
So it's not anything that would be deemable right now, because it needs, in my personal opinion, let it go to a Supreme Court so we can then clarify why the 14th Amendment was written in the first place.
Exactly.
I thought it was for like something to do with like Confederates. Like they didn't want people that had like
Exactly.
ties.
We're talking about the time where there, in my humble opinion, when there was an insurrection on the United States.
Yeah, like
Uh,
that's to me makes more sense than like I don't even know exactly what the ruling was with the insurrection because like I heard about that, but I thought that it was mostly to prevent people that have like criminal agenda or like agendas that were like hurting America or you know what I mean like things that were like really harmful and
uh, I'm not saying people that went in and stormed the Capitol on January 6th. I shouldn't even say stormed. The people that entered the Capitol
the people that were
illegally.
escorted legally by the guards that were
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
the people that here, let me just put it this
The
way:
people
the
that went on a
people
guided tour
that
of the Capitol
went
building.
the people that went into the Capitol building and that did property damage, those people should be prosecuted for property damage. But there are
I agree
people
with that.
there that could be in there, in my opinion. That's the right. But property damage, no.
No, yeah, maybe
Uh,
not property damage.
Beyond that, it's like the definition of an insurrectionist was back then was very clear, and I don't really fathom why it's been so manipulated to where it's at, because it's not like there was army buildup, there's not militia buildup, there was not the arming of civilians to then storm a capital to then take people out of the offices that they occupy. There was no um there was no laws that were declared. There was no declarations instituted. Like it was a protest that got out of hand, in my opinion. And if you're going to charge and you're going to politically prosecute and do a political witch hunt and make it to where you set a precedent, and I hate to say it, but setting the precedent is pretty much what the president's job is. But when you
Yeah.
set the precedent of politically prosecuting your political opponent, you are doing exactly what you're starting the torch that lights every revolution. Every time it's the prosecuting of your political opponent, and you start by censoring speech. The it, it's it
Yeah,
was
you
written
control
in
the narrative.
yeah it was written in our law for a reason, being the very first right that you have is the freedom of speech, and the second is the freedom to bear arms. All of them are written in order. So
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, the
when you
first
do
10
this,
were order of importance.
Yes.
and you set the precedent of politically prosecuting your political opponent because you don't want them to be on the ballot, it doesn't set a good example, and
No.
eventually it will catch up into the next worst thing using it, which is most likely a dictator, a person who then uses military to prosecute their political opponent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
that
I've never
becomes a
seen this before.
totalitarian state really fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause that's what like Hitler and Stalin did.
Yeah, I mean, you look
Yeah.
at every dictator throughout history. That's what they all did.
Hmm.
You're having a very like hard suppression of political belief, and I think I don't know. To me, it's just kind of wild to think about that. Like the whole state or the judicial system of Colorado was like, nope, we don't want this certain individual on here. And to me, it just shows you like
Well,
how far people are willing to go to suppress a group of people, and
And
that they disagree with the beliefs of.
Yeah, like
is Colorado a red state or a blue state?
It's
they're
blue.
very blue.
but if you think about it in that way, it sort of makes sense. Like you're talking about the political opponents. They're like, hey, Trump is pretty far right. We don't agree with that.
Yeah, we don't want him on our belt. We don't want our
We don't want to
state
even try to support
Yeah.
it.
But you
Yeah.
can't do that without just cause. Like you
Yeah.
cannot, like legally, you cannot force someone to take their name off the ballot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just more like just don't vote for him if you don't
'Cause
want
that's
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
literally just silencing. Like we were just discussing, that's silencing your political opponents, and it's
Yes.
just Colorado now. But like Andy said, if the Colorado Supreme Court sets the precedent, every other state can do
Could
what they
do
want
it.
with it.
Yeah. And if it was the other way around too, everybody would be making a huge deal about it.
Oh yeah, like if
And
they
right.
took Joe Biden off it.
Yeah, if they
Oh,
took
yeah.
Joe Biden's name off, could you imagine if, like Texas did that or something? Like there'd be riots in the street.
It'd be all over the
I think
news.
I think that'd be really funny if Colorado rules that, and then like Texas ruled the other direction. That'd be fucking.
I mean, they
hilarious.
probably
That'd be
would
hilarious, yeah.
in response, yes, since it shows the states could do it.
That'd be actually really funny if they did that.
the reason
Like-
why I say setting a precedent is so wrong is because these people are all lawyers and they all refer to previous laws, trials, verdicts, judgments to do whatever they need to do in law. Honestly, they just use
Yeah.
referrals.
They just
So-
cite previous cases.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what setting a precedent is too. It's your settings you do something to where somebody can then look back onto that and say, "Oh, well, if this person did it, I can
can
then
do it."
do it here."
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've never seen it before. I don't know if it's ever happened before, to be honest. I mean, I could probably look it up right now, see if it's ever been done.
Probably in the 1880s after Reconstruction.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah. Once the 14th Amendment was put in place.
Yeah, and they pretty much came down and forced the South back into the country and destroyed the South, like burned it down and stuff. And they're like, all right, you're under our rule now. Like, well, you're back here, you do what we say.
I don't know. It's very interesting. I thought that this election year would be kind of crazy, but it's already starting off more crazy than I would have ever anticipated.
Mm-hmm. Before the
It's
actual
gonna be-
election year starts.
Next
Yeah.
year is just gonna be awful.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to it.
this is definitely one of the most like kind of like stomach twisting elections in my opinion, because you're just like I don't know. There's
'Cause
too
either
much
way,
going
things
on
could
in
go
the
bad.
world. There's
This
just too much
is-
going in the United States, first of all, which is what I'm most I
Yeah, which
care
is what
too
we
much
should do.
about that.
Yeah.
But then there's all these wars going on, and you're just like, man, I don't want mumbly jumbly Joe up in the office doing this anymore.
No,
That's
he's
just
not
Mm-mm.
fit to
No.
lead our nation right now. I mean, there's so much
No.
bullshit happening. Like you said, in the U.S. and in the world, Joe Biden is not the man to lead us through it. You know, you look at all the other like turbulent times in history for the United States, and I'm not talking about the CIA planning 9/11 so that we could invade Iran for oil. I'm talking about World War II, the Great Depression, big like world-changing events like that with the whole world involved. And you look at the people who led us through it, and you look at Joe Biden, and you think to yourself, no, I don't think he can do it.
No, she
No, he
basically
can't
does
walk up
nothing.
stairs.
He can't
Yeah.
walk upstairs.
can't
Can't
get
walk
upstairs,
upstairs,
no.
can't ride a bike.
I can't imagine if Joe Biden was president instead of FDR during World War II.
I mean, we would have lost the war.
Probably, yeah.
We probably wouldn't be the United States of America anymore.
We'd be the United States of New Germany or something stupid like that.
I agree. I fully agree with that one. Yeah, I
You know
can't
what I mean?
imagine. I can't imagine a better time for Joe Biden to be president because any other time we would have been in for sure in war, boots on the ground. I mean, if Joe Biden was president in 2008, what we call the surge into Afghanistan, or I'm sorry, into Iraq,
All right.
it would have been more of like called the second draft of the United States of America. We would have been drafted again. He would have threw every boot on the ground if he could. We're lucky we aren't in wartime right now, and we have him. Because if we are in wartime and we have him, we would be in a
It's not
shitty
gonna be good.
It
situation.
would go very poorly.
Yeah, like for anybody listening to this who is leans more left and everything, that's fine. Everybody has their views. Okay, we tend to lean a little more right, but I want you to just watch a compilation of Joe Biden doing anything, and I want you to watch that, and then meet me in Montana with a straight face, and you tell me Joe Biden deserves the title Commander in Chief of the United States military.
Probably can't even spell that.
Well, we all know he's just like, being influenced, or he's the guy they show while Kamala's doing everything behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, his
somebody.
cabinetry and everything is running everything.
And it's
But-
which is not good if you're
No.
about to go to war. Which it really looks like. I mean, it's something's going to happen soon. We've got land war in Europe for the first time in almost a century.
We have Israel and Ukraine.
Israel is about to start shit with all of its neighbors again.
Oh yeah, that's been ongoing for a while though.
I mean, yeah, but they're about to do it like for realsies again.
For realsies.
China
man.
is really ramping up their threats on invading Taiwan.
Yeah, that's been happening for a long time.
That's been happening for a long time too, but it's been getting a lot worse lately.
Oh, very true.
I I don't like the mindset of we will fund a country in their war.
Yeah, why are we paying for other people's wars?
Yeah, pay for my own wars every day, man. Pay for me.
I don't like it. It's temporary. It hurts the economy internally. It temporarily does something in the country that we're giving weapons or money to. But in the end, it's like you lose. You fought for 200 feet and you end up losing 10 of the 200 feet you were trying to win in the first place, and you're down 500,000 men,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're asking for 500,000 more in a draft. So you're almost going to go through 1,000,000 men for what?
Not a goddamn thing.
For what? I
And-
mean, like,
Ego check.
Yeah, the fact that you can say you won the war.
Yep.
Yeah, I got something to say about that. Like providing aid to other countries and things during their wars. Now, look at Ukraine as a country.
Oh.
Okay, and I'm speaking purely pragmatically here. Okay, I'm not thinking about the actual lives that are affected by this, which I know is a lot. But speaking directly pragmatically, Ukraine is worthless to the United States. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if they win or lose that war. It just doesn't. It means nothing.
But it's
Us
because
here in the U.S., but the U.S. is here spending $50 billion trying to get Ukraine to win a war that no one cares about, man. Outside of Ukraine and Russia, no one gives a single fuck about that war anymore.
Yeah. I
And-
agree with
yeah,
that.
And they just
it's
they
old
just need to-
news.
It's old news. No one cares. They've been fighting over the same stupid 300 square foot piece of land for the last 2 years now.
I hear everything about it, and I'm like, oh, that's still going on.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if Ukraine wins because they're not going to give us the money back. They're not
No.
going to turn around and pay reparations. They're not going to provide anything worthwhile to the United States in return.
No.
There's no reason for it other than Joe Biden and the United States trying to dick measure against Putin and Russia again.
Yes, it's still kind of like McCarthyism, fear of the Iron Curtain, where like,
Yeah,
oh
it's the
shit,
Cold War.
if Russia wins, they're gonna conquer all of Europe and then kill us.
Yeah, the Cold War ended in 1992, but like, did it?
No.
Well, what I think is that in the Cold War, you also had the massive industrialization of the military on the side of being able to sell manufactured weapons and missiles.
Yep. The
And
export market was insane. Still is.
and I think what you see now is like also China and Russia have pretty much have the same thing. And so these proxy wars are just propping up these military armed makers where you have Lockheed, you have uh um Boeing, uh a lot of military contractors that benefit more off of foreign wars, and they don't have to send a boot on the ground. They can just send bullets and arms, and they're profiting off of that. So they know that every bullet that they send is going to kill a person, and that body is more money in their pocket.
Yep.
That's
Yes.
all it is. It's not the war is not defensively thought of anymore. It's profitably thought of now. There's an economy built into war.
That's how World War II was, man.
Well,
And
that's.
World War II built
Yeah, that's what pulled us
America.
out of the Great Depression.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the U.S. pioneered that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it put people to work building guns, and
And ammo and tanks
and
and
just
jeeps.
everything. And if you want to have y'all seen that like the conspiracy theory iceberg?
I have not.
If you want to dip just below the surface here for a second, hang on, I'll send you a picture of it real quick, Tyler, while I'm talking about this.
Okay.
But if you want to dip below the surface of that real quick for a second, think about how much money companies like Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Raytheon and General Electric give to senators and representatives and
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the
during their
lobbying's
campaign,
unreal.
the lobbying, and then the senator is obligated to continue funding these wars so
Yes.
that Raytheon and Lockheed Martin
We'll keep paying them.
can line their pockets and therefore line the senator's pockets.
It's all about the
makes
money, baby.
system go around. Yep. Yep, it's very true. Some of these businesses and corporations have more power than governments.
Yeah, they run the government mostly.
Yeah.
Which is wild to think about. That's crazy that it's the lobbyists are like, that's their whole job. They get paid tons of money to go to the government and tell people what they think they should do. And they just get paid a ton by the companies that send them there to do it.
Well, it's like the smoking industry for all those years, just paying all the politicians to not regulate tobacco and
So-
everything.
Hear this out. This is a fancy little thing. Every president but one went into office with a certain amount of money and left office with more money. Every president since Richard Nixon. But do you know who the one president lost money?
Donald
Being
Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yep.
Didn't take a salary, didn't he?
No, he went
Yeah.
from 3 billion to 2.3 billion.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Obama went from 1.3 million to 70 million. George W. Bush went from 20 million to 40 million. Bill Clinton went from 1.3 million to 241.5 million.
Woo.
George H.W. Bush, 4 million to 23 million. Ronald Reagan, 10 million to 15 million. I mean, it seems like something corrupt happens when you become a president, when you start utilizing the military around you. All those presidents right there, by the way, were doing something with the military in and around their time of presidency. And the only one that really wasn't was Donald Trump.
Yeah, because we didn't really have any war. I think he even went and talked to Kim Jong-un and sort of smoothed over that situation.
Well, not really anymore. They hate us again.
Yeah, everybody hates us.
But back to Obama, my fellow Americans, I have a drone strike to Syrian hospital.
Oh God. Well,
I think Trump's Al God Baghdadi guy was the best one. He's like,
Abu Dhabi, we killed him like a
Yeah, yeah.
dog.
he
Oh,
is a dog.
Baghdadi
Beautiful
is dead.
dog.
He died like a dog.
I
we
just
could
want
hear him
Trump back in
crying.
for the
We said,
Hmm.
"Don't cry."
Don't cry.
Yeah, pretty
No, that
great
was
meme
that was the
cultures.
greatest speech an American president's ever given. And like, I know
Absolutely.
you got Lincoln and FDR and them boys up there, but let's
Come
be real.
on.
Look at the facts. I watched that speech live, and
Damn
when
right.
Donald Trump came jogging out of the tunnel to the Situation Room, like he was fucking Patrick Mahomes, dude. He jogged out of there like he was about to go and win the goddamn Super Bowl,
I
and
just love the
just
hand
delivered
gestures.
a 45-minute freestyle roast.
I freestyle. He ripped it all. Like
He
he
ripped
didn't
it all.
have
He didn't write a
it.
speech for that. He
No, he
just
didn't
started
write it.
talking.
Hell yeah.
He just got done with like a 2-hour meeting with military people watching this dude die, and like he came in there with that kind of energy.
Yeah, and listen, I think with the way the world is right now, how the US has been lately, that's the kind of energy we need right now.
Yes,
I don't
sir.
care if it doesn't have to be Donald Trump that delivers it, but somebody's got to.
We need the America's great. We need the confidence.
Did you see this Vivek Ramaswamy tell what's his name? Dan Jones of CNN. He's just like, fuck, shut the fuck up.
Are you serious?
No, I did
I'm
not.
not. Yeah,
weird.
he's at like a rally or something, and he's like, I heard Dan Jones was talking to me, talking to like how I was shaking when I was listening to me talk, and he's like, Dan, just shut the fuck up.
Damn.
That's incredible.
That's
Well,
awesome.
one of the things keeping us all together this season is Twitch nudity, baby. I've
Yes.
been
Woo!
loving this shit. I don't know if you guys want to have more information on this than me. All I know is there was a lot of free hanging fruit on Twitch this last week.
Yeah, the Garden of
Mhm.
Eden briefly sprung into existence. So for those who don't know, Twitch updated its creator guidelines so that partial nudity was allowed. So what they meant by that, you can't
Damn
show.
right.
So essentially, like to dumb it down a little bit, say you're a woman, they generally have breasts. Okay, you can show most of the breast now, just not all of it.
Not the
Mhm.
aerial
Yeah,
area.
you can't show the nipple.
Somebody's call Ryan and tell him that.
But yeah, you can't show the
Free the
nipple, and it
nipple.
was
Shout out to you, Ryan.
According to Twitch, it was meant for like artistic type,
Yeah, they're talking about artistic creative nudity.
which
Well,
okay, fair enough.
and for fictionalized characters, I
Yeah,
thought
that
too, right?
also yeah.
Yeah, you could do like drawings and crap. They didn't care.
But they didn't specify that in the actual guidelines. So basically, what happened was every mildly attractive woman on Twitch
Mm-hmm.
just went topless for every stream.
Yep.
Because
And they're saying that
why
like
wouldn't you?
twerking
That
and stuff
makes
is
people
allowed.
money. Why wouldn't you do that?
Oh my
You know
god.
people are gonna pay for it.
Yeah, because even if you didn't show the whole
man.
booba, you could like shake around or whatever, say move, and they'd be like, "Ooh,
Yeah,
money, donate."
and that's exactly what happened. And I think didn't they rescind that almost immediately?
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah,
they rolled it back.
rolled it back instantly, was saying that they were going to roll it back out again at a future date with improved verbiage. I think was there
So you couldn't
Now,
have
something to
full
that- something to
nudity?
that
It was
effect.
like partial?
Partial nudity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because even though, like, if you clicked on the video, it'd say, "Hold on, sexual nudity content" or whatever. There was no warning or anything in the thumbnails, and it was all over like the home screen, and like the art page was just full of nudity and sexual content. And then they were like, "Wait a minute, there's a lot of under 18 people on Twitch. Hang
I
on
was
now."
gonna say, from what I understand, the biggest reason they rolled it back was they hadn't thought through, like, there was no way to vet whether anyone was under 18 or not.
all right, now I have a
Oh.
conspiracy theory. I told this to my girlfriend. She's like, that actually makes sense. All right.
Alright, let's hear it.
Every single year, at least once a year, Twitch has a person or many people, or they do an oopsie, and I like to call it the titty slip.
Mm.
There's
Oops.
And here's my conspiracy towards that. At first, they were like, "Oh, we can't change that," and then somewhere in a board meeting, they're like, "Let's see if we can allow a day or two of titty slipping happen. That will
So
drive the viewership to Twitch. Twitch will have more traffic coming towards it, and with
Yes.
that traffic is more ad revenue towards us."
It's all about the money.
Yeah, more
I
views.
can see that,
It's gonna,
honestly.
the headline's gonna pop up. People are like, whoa, what? There's titties on Twitch. Let's go, and then they go over there and try and find it.
Bro, some of these girls actually had like full nudity on their channel though.
Yeah, because that's body
Like-
art. It quotation
because-
marks around body.
But like, I think they're
Oh,
saying, yeah, if you were like painting
Yeah.
your body, you could do it.
Because
Artistic-
yeah.
artistic
here's the way
nudity
I
is
look at
allowed.
it. Here's the way I look at it too. It's just like if you're not going to well define body art, what's going to stop the lady from whipping her breast out and just drawing a cat on it? And
Yeah,
it's
like-
like, well, it's body
I was
paint.
gonna
It's
say.
artistic.
Mhm.
It's artistic. It's a fictionalized character. It's
Yeah, some of these girls
whatever
had
it
full
is.
out, man. Like I'm talking like full out there.
I mean, by Twitch. I mean, that was the reason it went so badly. Is Twitch basically didn't clarify anything. They were like, artistic nudity is now allowed, and partial nudity is fine. for
And I
regular
guarantee you, the
streams. So-
top board members of OnlyFans are the top stock owners of Twitch. It
Yes.
just
Well,
makes sense because all these
Amazon-
women are using Twitch
Amazon,
as
yeah.
an
Amazon
Twitch
owns Twitch.
Twitch is nothing more than an advertisement platform for these women for their OnlyFans. So
Mhm.
it's like you have to assume that the people that own OnlyFans or that invest into OnlyFans are also invested into Twitch.
Hang on a second.
Yeah,
Most likely, yeah.
I just
'Cause they have it on multiple platforms. Like during the day they could Twitch, at night they could OnlyFans. Keep the money rolling in.
very true. Yeah, do you guys remember the one that one guy had his like junk hang out on accident? It wasn't like Speedy Way or what was his name? Speedy something?
Oh,
Sure,
I
I'll
show
tell you that.
speed.
Yeah, that guy, and he had like I think he was like doing something and it just slipped out for him. But he didn't get banned or anything for that, or I don't think he even got like a slap on the wrist. I don't know if I remember that correctly, but
Here we go. I was
No,
just.
tell us sure. I don't really remember
digging-
what
digging
happened, but I
through who
remember it.
owns OnlyFans. Okay, so OnlyFans is owned by Phoenix International Limited. Phoenix International is owned by Engie, which is a French company that owns a ton of shit.
huh?
They operate electricity, natural gas, nuclear power, renewable power, petroleum, and now OnlyFans. They're another one of those big mega corporation conglomerates.
Okay. Interesting.
Their revenue in 2019, I've got their page pulled up here, was 60.1 billion euros,
Damn.
Wow.
which is about $70 billion.
Wow.
Which, can't compete with a company like Google or Amazon, but
Still a lot.
that's a ton of money. And that was all it was. It's just more money. But yeah,
Yeah,
Amazon
remember
owns
when,
Twitch, and Amazon 100% uses Twitch as ad revenue, and I bet Andy's right. Stock owners in Amazon also own a bunch of stock in Twitch,
Yes.
or NG or Phoenix or
Yeah.
OnlyFans,
100%.
whichever company it is. It doesn't really matter.
'Cause
Yeah, it was all
remember-
about money.
When OnlyFans, I don't know if they got a new owner or something, but they're like, all right, we're going to stop the porn. We're going to shut down any sexual content on this. And then they're like, wait a fucking second, that's where all our money's coming from. And they rolled it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, they were gonna try and make it another streaming platform like Twitch or YouTube.
Yeah, I'm wondering how Twitch is gonna do because I've been hearing that they're kind of dying actually, and I don't know if this was like an attempt to like kind of regain a little popularity or what the case was, but
Right.
from
Definitely
Seems-
part of it, at
seems
least, was
reasonable
a,
that- yeah, it's like, come on, why wouldn't you want to drive ad revenue so you get a whole bunch of traffic because you let a titty slip happen?
Yeah.
yeah, I mean we're
Um,
not even having titty slips, like these are all out, like they were just letting it hang, you know what I mean?
Full
And-
frontal.
yeah.
Right.
Stuff. It
But
was-
something like this happens every single year for the past like 5 years now on Twitch.
on
here's
Twitch,
what-
the
here's what
hot
I
tub
think.
streams.
Here's what I think about
Yeah.
Twitch. Twitch originally catered almost exclusively to the gaming community.
Mhm.
Oh
That's
yeah.
who they wanted streaming. That's who streamed on Twitch. That was it. Okay, so that's the identity Twitch has now, and they've been trying to expand, but in doing so, they're alienating their core fan base.
Oh yeah.
And those fans are going other places. They're going to, YouTube or any other streaming platform. There's a million of them now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They're just migrating away from Twitch because Twitch used to be the gaming streaming platform, and
Yep.
now
Yeah, but now it's
hardly any of it is
anything,
gaming
yeah.
anymore. And so all the millions and millions and millions of gamers who used to go to Twitch as their go-to for gaming aren't doing it anymore. They're going somewhere else because, everybody likes a
rather
good
go
titty
to
now and again, but I'm trying to watch Markiplier or PewDiePie
Yep.
do dumb shit.
Right.
Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well,
you would
and they have
rather
more
go to
communities
YouTube to
too.
watch your creator than to go to Twitch. And a lot of Twitch
Yeah.
people that I was subscribed to, I see them coming to YouTube now.
Yeah.
They all
Yeah.
stream on YouTube.
Like
Well, go ahead.
Penguin Zero and Actman and stuff go on Twitch, but I'm never on that, so I just watch the videos they post on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yep.
most of them also stream on YouTube simultaneously while they're streaming on Twitch.
Yeah, you can do
Right.
both
You
now.
can do both
Yeah.
at the same time now.
I think
And
YouTube's offering more money too.
YouTube pays better because Google has more money to pay.
Uh-huh.
And it's Google never tried to make YouTube really anything other than it already is. I mean, you can talk about the community guideline bullshit all you want, but they never fundamentally they never tried to change YouTube's identity.
No, it's still just a video posting site.
It's a video posting site, and that's all it
Yeah.
is. So it's fine that anybody and everybody streams on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because they're not being fake about it. They're like, oh, it's for gamers, but it's not, is it?
Well, that's
For
the difference.
everybody.
is YouTube was the original, like, you got something to say, get in front of a camera and say it.
Yep.
That's
Mhm.
literally what it was. You saw something funny, you saw something horrible, you saw
Or
something
informative.
messed up, like whatever. That's how
Yeah, you know a
YouTube
lot about a
was.
certain subject, do a
Yeah.
video about it,
A-
sure.
And
Yeah.
in all honesty, Twitch TV came in the aftermath of Justin TV, which was an illegal streaming platform that you could stream anything, like TV and movies. So the same people that started Justin TV were the same people that started Twitch TV. I'm not surprised that the mentality of the people that own the company really haven't changed their mind, like aren't really different than who they were. Like, in all honesty, they just want money. They just want traffic to come to their website.
Yeah, well, and
Mhm. They
Amazon
want views.
owns Twitch now.
Yep.
And they've been doing that Twitch sub through the Amazon Prime.
Yeah, you get your free
And yeah.
uh
Yeah, you get
Twitch whatever they call it, the
the
premium Twitch
Prime
sub or whatever
sub.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And like honestly, that's the only way I really think people on the streaming platforms are making money, because I don't think majority of people are doing that without the Amazon thing, the Amazon Prime subscription. So like really Amazon's just like feeding one money to another source. So they're not even really making money. They're just like just giving the Twitch streamers money basically at that
Well, and a
point.
lot of people on Twitch do genuinely make a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
If you're
The
big
huge
on Twitch, I mean,
streamers.
you can become a
Probably the ad
millionaire
revenue though.
overnight. It's ad
Well,
revenue, but it's
Pokemon's not.
also it's also the Twitch Prime subs too, because those, I mean, that every
Mhm.
Twitch Prime sub deposits money directly into that streamer's bank account.
Well, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
and
The
people
streamers
donate
are
money
making
too.
money.
And
Yeah.
donations and things like that. That's another reason actually that Twitch has been losing a lot of its biggest content creators is Amazon's been getting greedy, and they're starting to take more and more of a percentage of every donation, every Twitch Prime sub that comes through. Amazon takes a pretty
Mhm.
significant chunk of that money. And the creators are fed up with it. Google doesn't take anywhere near as much when you stream on YouTube.
No. Yeah.
They still take
I
some,
think.
of course, for the privilege of streaming on their platform, but it's nowhere near as much as Amazon takes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you guys have a thought on this, but I think that YouTube is gonna kill almost all of media and all these streaming sites, because like if you look at all these streaming platforms like Netflix, Disney, and Hulu, and all. I mean, there's about Paramount. I mean, you got all these, right?
There's so
Uh,
many.
So many, but the only one that actually makes money is YouTube. All right, it's the tried and true. I think that
It's
all the rest of these are gonna go by the wayside, and eventually, I think YouTube's gonna own everything. I mean, it's already happening with the NFL.
well,
Yeah,
The
YouTube
NFL's
TV.
rights are owned by YouTube.
say what you will about Google and YouTube and being evil mega corporations and stuff, but Google knocked it out of the park when they bought YouTube because they
Oh
could have
yeah.
jumped on the bandwagon and made YouTube a pay to use subscription service, but they didn't. You can pay a subscription to YouTube if
Mm-hmm.
you want, and it gets rid of the ads.
Yep.
But you don't have to. It's 100% free.
Yep.
Mhm. Awesome.
And they're the
Which
best business model in the world where they
is
have people make content for them for free.
They make content
Yep.
for them for free. Those people make money. Those people
Uh-huh.
making money puts money in Google's pocket, and the
Yep.
average consumer doesn't have to pay a dime if they don't want to.
Yes.
Exactly. It's the best business model in the world.
And
But I am under the personal belief, like any company that is an online company, if they get too uppity about their community guidelines, then it does drive a lot of people away from it.
well,
Oh,
look
definitely.
how hard
Yeah.
YouTube was hit. What was it? It wasn't even a whole year ago. It was like 6 months ago.
Oh, the
when they
apocalypse plague? or
Yeah,
something?
when they no,
Yeah.
when they did the new community guidelines where they tried to essentially ban any form of profanity at the risk of
Oh,
being demonetized.
Mm-mm.
yes.
Because they wanted YouTube to be a family friendly platform. And every big content creator rightfully pointed out YouTube
That's
Kids
stupid.
exists.
Yes.
YouTube
Yep.
is for adults.
Yes.
YouTube Kids is for kids. If
Yep.
if parents don't want their kids seeing profanity on YouTube, they need to be on YouTube Kids.
That's on the
Mhm.
parent's job, in
And
my
there
opinion.
was a massive community backlash, and they almost immediately did a 180 on that and went back to
Which
I
is
think
good.
now it's
In the first
they
30
lose
seconds
in
or
the first
something.
30 seconds you can't swear.
Yeah.
But they loosened the community guidelines a ton.
Oh
And
shit.
Oh no, Tyler, you killed the video.
like an hour and a half.
I know.
I just want there to be the ability to kind of conversate. Like I want what Elon does with X and the ability to allow what speech happens there.
Hmm.
I ain't talking about any of the other kind of stuff, but the ability to talk the way you can talk in public and you're not going to be prosecuted. You have the freedom of speech.
Yes.
I want that example to be transferred over to YouTube where you can then because in all honesty, it's I lean a little bit more conservatively right, more libertarian, but I want to hear the opinions from every side.
Yes.
I don't want to be stuck in
It's
my own echo chamber
so
because
important to be well
I'm so
informed.
I don't want to be surrounded by only people who agree with me on every single subject. Like I'm not going to get whether I'm right or wrong.
I've actually got an interesting point on that too. I was talking to Kelly the other day. Y'all have met Kelly. About beliefs and what makes it you know like your strength of belief in anything. And you cannot truly believe something unless those beliefs are challenged from time to time, because then you
Mhm.
have to defend your beliefs and you have to have a good defense. You can't just say, well, I believe this because somebody else does. That's not a good enough reason. That's not your
Mhm.
belief at that point. That's somebody else's belief that you subscribe
That
to.
you're just following, yeah.
You
And it
have to you have to have concise, clear arguments for why you believe what you do.
what would be a good and what's a good way to, let's say you're the person who's trying to defend and you're having a real tough time defending your side, your take, your position. What would be something that you can do that's kind of cheating to get the upper hand in that then?
Pointing out, for example, I guess kind of a weak example, but the first thing that popped into my head was pointing out, somebody else who has similar beliefs who is doing well or has used those beliefs to do something beneficial.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? Like if you believe some drug, let's say, just for example. You know what? Fuck it. Let's use weed. That's a popular subject in the US these days. If you believe weed is beneficial and you're in a losing argument against someone who doesn't, you can point at studies and things that say it is and all that stuff as kind of like an out. But
But that's not
again,
cheating. That's actually a good thing that you should be doing.
it's a
That
good argument for sure, but
what
it
I
still doesn't
what
truly back up your belief in it.
Right. Well, what I would say that would then clarify what would constitute cheating would be if there is ability to have it to where the other person couldn't voice their opinion.
Oh, see, now I see where you're going with
So
that.
cheating would be like pulling a Jake and just saying, "I can't explain this to you. You don't get it. I'm not having this
Well,
conversation," and then just
E-
leaving.
e- that's
Yeah,
that's one way. That's more of negating it in like
that's deflection.
that's more of deflection than censoring.
No, I see where
Because
you were going with that, though. You're talking about like Reddit and
y-
saying really anything against the Rainbow Warrior community,
yeah, and
and
then you're no
immediately
yeah,
longer a
getting
part of
banned from wherever
yeah.
you are.
Yeah,
yeah.
and you kind of I don't want that precedent to be set. Like that's what I want more of how Twitter and X is kind of doing it where you can say what you want. Community notes will tell you whether the information that a massive amount of people that participate in community notes collected, and they can judge whether they think it's true or not true.
Hmm.
Uh, but ultimately, you still have the public square to voice your opinion. Listen, back in the 1500s, and when you play Assassin's Creed and you're in like the town of Bethlehem or wherever you are, and you hear the crazy guy just screaming stuff in the middle of the square,
You're
that's
allowed to
th-
do that.
you're allowed to still do that. Like
Yep.
it's I know that maybe you're the crazy guy that's going to be screaming in the middle of the square, but I understand and I I can also respect that you are that person because I have the same ability, the same freedom of speech you do too.
Hmm.
Or like the one guy in Skyrim who's sitting in the middle of Whiterun and is like,
Yelling about
"Talos!"
Talos.
And
Yeah.
like,
You
granted, you
can't
want to
do
kill him
that
because
on
he's
Twitter.
annoying as fuck, and sometimes you do. But he should be allowed to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and like bad speech, wrong speech or whatever you want to call it, you don't figure it out, you don't solve the problem by censoring it, by making it to where they can't say it
Hmm.
or they don't have a platform to say it. uh, y- the way you solve it is by right speech, by the facts, by truth. Like
And I think,
it's the only
go
way
ahead.
it
Sorry.
seems like in my personal opinion, it's the only way it seems like it's possible to do that without kind of segregating groups of people.
Yep. And I think that's one of the reasons, to bring it back to YouTube, and like Robert and Tyler were saying that YouTube's gonna basically eclipse all other media if it hasn't already.
Absolutely.
Um, is Google hasn't taken that away from YouTube. Like there's certain things you can't do, of course, but by and large, you can voice your opinion, your beliefs, whatever you want on YouTube
You
with
can,
Yep.
no backlash from YouTube themselves. You'll, I'm
yes.
sure, face backlash from the community if you say some real fucked up shit.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's still you can make a video as long as you're not stroking your cock, uh, or actively killing people, and post it
Or
on YouTube,
spouting
and
blatant
then
racism.
yeah, or spouting blatant
Yeah,
racism, and then you put it
Yeah.
on YouTube and let the community decide what they think of it.
yeah. I
Yep.
just think, man, it's so bizarre to censor or restrict videos that are just a person sitting in front of a camera and a microphone saying something political that they disagree with whatever uh opposition that they're disagreeing to. And I see it I have examples a lot on the right, but even on the left it happens too.
Hmm.
So it's an active an agenda to censor opposite opinions and who is currently what the current establishment of the United States is. That current leadership of the United States, the office that holds executive powers of the United States, that's kind of the standard that we have set in this country. I don't want I don't want it to further inflame more hatred on both sides because of that. It seems crazy that we're heading into a place where even the establishment's own party is censoring itself. Like not
Mhm.
not literally itself, but people that are in the Democratic Party, just because they don't
Well,
fully
they want to
agree with.
project an image that maybe that person doesn't necessarily
And,
represent.
and like a prime example of what I'm saying is look at October 7th and then look at October 25th. Look at how the narrative shifted. Just look at how the narrative shifted. And now half the Democrats that are holding office kind of are split. So,
Well, yeah. Who's the big ogre looking senator that wears hoodies? What's his
oh,
name?
I know who you're
You know
talking
who I'm
about.
talking about? Yeah. But
Yeah.
he's been really advocating for things that even 2-3 months ago would have been considered right wing extremist policies.
Hmm.
He wants
Yeah.
he's advocating for border control and working with Republicans to make it happen and stuff like that. Stopping he doesn't want to give any more money to Ukraine. Like even 6 months ago that would have been blasphemy on the
I
Senate
I
floor.
I think that half the Democrats like the what I look it's kind of the same. I shouldn't say the same, but there is splits in both sides. I would say half the Republicans are there's a fracture in the Republicans and there's a fracture in the Democrats. The fracture being in the Democratic side is are you for the problems of that's happening in America or are you for being a parent of the world? Do you want to be this caretaker, this be all and all kind of events that are happening around the world? Do you
Yeah, the
want to be
world
involved?
police.
Yeah, do you want to be or the world's parent? Or do you want to care
Yeah.
about the things that are happening in the United States? And it's not the same that's happening on the Republican side, but there is still a fracture in both sides. But
Hmm.
that's the way I look at what's happening on the Democratic side. Like my girl leans a little bit more left than me, and she is like, "Why are we sending all of this money to all of these places, and we have homeless people on the fucking streets?"
Well, if you ask the average
Yeah, indeed.
American whether we should focus our efforts on the world stage or internally in the United States to make our own country a better place, I guarantee you at least
80,
80% of
90,
them,
80,
80,
90. Yeah.
80 to 90% of them are going to say
Yep.
focus on
Say
the
here,
US first, always.
as you
It's
should.
our country. This is where we live. Why would we
Yep.
not focus on this place first?
Fix our problems
Yeah.
before we solve others.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, that was quite a titillating discussion.
Oh yeah.
But I think on that note, it's almost been 2 hours. So
Dude, I've got so much more I could say about all this stuff, but yeah.
it was awesome. No,
Sure.
I definitely agree. But we should probably pause this episode here. And then that was good. Thank you guys. And for all you listeners, I appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to Burdinator and the second channel, Podcastinator. And
Hey.
when all else fails, always trust a podcast.
And Merry Christmas.
Yes, happy
Hey, Merry
holidays.
Christmas, yo.
Merry Christmas.